Welcome to Horsemanship Unlocked. This is a podcast where we explore the horse-human relationship with curiosity, research, and respect. Here, we're not interested in blame or barn drama. We're interested in better questions. What if horsemanship isn't about controlling a horse, but about understanding them? In each episode, we look at training, welfare, and industry practices through a lens of curiosity, inviting reflection instead of defensiveness. You don't have to agree with everything here. You just have to be willing to think. I'm Veronica. Let's begin. What does horsemanship actually mean? We use the word horsemanship constantly. She has great horsemanship. That's poor horsemanship. Horsemanship clinic. Horsemanship fundamentals. But what does it actually mean? Is it a skill? Is it control? Is it tradition? Or is it a relationship? And why does the answer matter? Today I want to explore how the word itself shapes our identity, and possibly the welfare of our horses. The historical definition. The earliest known written text on horsemanship is Xenophon's On Horsemanship, written around 350 BC. This text was written for training war horses. Not leisure horses, not sport horses, battle horses. And yet, even in a military context, Xenophon emphasizes gentleness and trust. He writes, "Anything forced and misunderstood can never be beautiful." He also emphasizes rewarding the horse, avoiding anger, building trust, gradual training, and understanding temperament. For a 2,300-year-old training manual for war, that's remarkable. So historically, even at its earliest record, horsemanship was not defined as domination, but as thoughtful handling. That alone is worth sitting with. Skill versus relationship. In modern usage, horsemanship often gets equated with technical skill. Clean flying lead changes, collection, straightness, timing, competition results. But skill is not relationship. Research in equine science consistently shows us that horses are highly sensitive to human behavior, emotional state, and consistency. For example, Hausberger et al. From Animal Behavior in 2008 demonstrated that horses generalize their experiences with humans and develop long-term expectations based on past handling quality. Sankey et al. From 2010's Applied Animal Behavior Science showed that horses trained with positive reinforcement not only learned faster, but also demonstrated increased positive behaviors towards humans, approaching voluntarily and showing affiliate behaviors. That is relationship data, not just training outcome data. So if horsemanship is defined purely as performance skill, we miss the relational component that directly influences learning, stress, and welfare. Tradition versus connection. Tradition carries the weight in the horse world because that's how it's always been done. But tradition isn't inherently ethical. It's simply inherited behavior. Christensen et al. From 2008 Applied Animal Behavior Science found that horses exposed to high-intensity adverse training showed increased stress responses compared to horses trained with gradual low-stress methods. And McGreevy and McLean from Equitation Science in 2010 argue that misunderstanding learning theory contributes to unnecessary conflict behaviors. When tradition overrides science, tension increases. When connection informs practice, welfare improves. So when we say horsemanship, are we referencing tradition or connection? The word shapes identity. Here's where psychology enters. Words shape identity. Identity shapes behavior. If I define myself as a skilled horseman, my self-worth may hinge on performance and visible control. If I define myself as a partner to a horse, My self-worth may hinge on trust, communication, and emotional regulation. Research in social identity theory, Turner, 1979, shows that individuals protect identities that are socially reinforced. When identity is threatened, defensiveness increases. That matters in horsemanship, because if horsemanship equals technical superiority, criticism feels like a threat. But if horsemanship equals relationship quality, feedback becomes information and connection, not ego. What is a healthy relationship? Let's borrow from relationship psychology. Gottman's research, 1999 and 2002, on healthy human relationship identifies markers such as emotional regulation, repair after rupture, consistency, respect, responsiveness. In contrast, unhealthy dynamics involve escalation, public humiliation, unpredictability, fear-based compliance. Now, I'm not equating horses with humans in a simplistic way, but relational patterns matter across species. Horses thrive under predictability. Cooper et al. 2007, Applied Animal Behavior Science. They show lower cortisol levels when handlers are calm and consistent. Keeling et al. 2009. So if horsemanship is fundamentally a relationship between a horse and a human, then relationship science is relevant, and that shifts the definition dramatically. So what does it mean? Maybe horsemanship is technical skill applied with an ethical relationship, not domination, not ego, not performance at any cost, but the ability to influence a horse while preserving trust. Xenophon said, "The horse is a most noble animal when treated with kindness." 2,300 years later, we have cortisol studies and behavioral science confirming the same principle. So the question becomes, when we use the word horsemanship, what are we praising? Control or connection? If horsemanship is a horse-human relationship, how would your horse define it? When you ride, does your horse experience clarity or confusion? Trust or tension? Predictability or pressure? Because the word we choose shapes the standard we live by. Maybe the first step in evolving the industry is redefining the language. As always, stay curious, keep asking better questions, and listen to what the horse is showing you.